I'm sick of this. Today is the perfect time to get rid of you, Anna.
Where are we actually going, cousin?
Alaric glanced at Arvin briefly. Hearing such a question from an adult man like Arvin was quite amusing.
Be quiet and wait until we reach our destination.
Arvin sighed in frustration, realizing that he had neglected himself after losing Rani from his apartment.
All right.
Today, without Arvin's knowledge, Alaric would take him to another mansion he owned, which was equally grand as the one they lived in. Perhaps this was the right time to bring them together, considering that Arvin's appearance now wasn't much different from when he was searching for Anna. Alaric's car entered the courtyard of the second mansion. Arvin glanced at the luxurious building fleetingly, no longer interested as he was when he first set foot in Alaric's grand mansion. His admiration had completely disappeared. There was no longer any awe for an inanimate object. All of that admiration, he last expressed it on the night he had Rani all to himself. Thinking of her, Arvin felt longing. Rani, where are you now?
Is this your mansion, cousin?
Alaric mumbled in agreement and got out of the car first. The number of servants in the second mansion was not as many as the main one he occupied. The important thing was to ensure that someone occupied this second mansion and it wasn't left empty.
Why are we here, actually? I just want to meet my Rainey. Why are you showing off your wealth by showing me this mansion?
Arvin looked at Alaric sharply, frustrated by the man's constant talking.
Your mouth is really like a woman's, always chattering.
Alaric retorted. Unbeknownst to both of them, they had arrived in front of the main door of the mansion. Shortly after, the door opened, leaving Arvin stunned. But it wasn't just Arvin. Someone else also opened the door. Rainey. With just one step, Arvin approached Rani and immediately embraced his woman, whom he had been searching for until he felt frustrated.
Finally, I found you.
Wait. Arvin's voice. My goodness, the man was crying while hugging Rani. Arvin crying. Meanwhile, Rani just stood there, bewildered and unsure of what to do.
I miss you. I miss you so bad, Rainey.
Alaric, who saw the two of them embracing, sighed softly and walked inside without paying any attention to their emotional reunion. Alaric leaned back tiredly on the sofa after driving for about 3 hours. However, he only closed his eyes for a moment before a sarcastic voice entered his ears, making him open his eyes instantly.
Truly annoying.
He grumbled lazily to himself.
You're such a jerk, cousin.
Alaric smirked as Arvin followed him and sat on the sofa, facing him.
You said you didn't know Rainey's whereabouts, but you were the one hiding her.
Arvin hissed, trying to contain his emotions. Meanwhile, Rainey just stood at the corner of the sofa, not daring to approach.
That's my punishment for you, for ruining an innocent girl like Rani.
Alaric replied casually.
You know my reason for doing that, cousin? Because
you love her?
Alaric guessed, laden with mockery. Rani was startled to hear what her master had just said. Arvin loved her. Her thoughts were in disarray.
If you love her, you should have treated her well. You should have protected her with all your heart.
Alaric's words weren't entirely wrong.
Okay, I admit I was wrong.
Arvin said, bowing his head. Then he turned to look at Rainey, getting up from the sofa, and surprisingly, Arvin knelt down before her, leaving her flustered.
Ryan, forgive me. I know I've done wrong.
Sir Arvin, please stand up. Don't do those.
Rani held Arvin's arms, trying to make him stand up, but Arvin shook his head firmly.
No, not until you're willing to forgive me and accept me as your husband.
Rani fell silent. She hadn't recovered from the shock of her master's confession, and now she was truly surprised by what he said about wanting to become her husband.
Why are you still silent, Ray?
Arvin raised his head.
Please stand up first, sir.
Rani insisted, but Arvin remained resolute, shaking his head. Rani took a deep breath.
All right, sir.
Alaric, who had been watching them with annoyance, decided to head to his private room to rest for a while before deciding to return to his main mansion later. Seeing the cheesy romantic scene in front of him made him sleepy.
Anna, you're called by Mother Rose in the warehouse.
Someone informed Anna. Anna furrowed her brows in confusion. Why would Mother Rose call her, but wait for her in the warehouse?
All right.
Anna, who'd been tidying up her washed clothes, quickly put them in her wardrobe, neatly folded.
Mary.
Anna called the woman who had just informed her before she disappeared from sight. Gia was one of the servants from the villa behind and rarely came to the main mansion, except when she needed something important.
Yes, Anna.
Do you know why Mother Rose called me?
The servant called Gia shook her head, not knowing the reason.
Okay, I'll go first, Anna. I want to fetch some items.
Anna nodded, allowing her to go. Empty, Anna was left alone in the room.
Maybe Mother Rose wants me to help clean up the warehouse.
She thought and immediately headed to where Mother Rose was waiting for her. Dark, dark. As Anna arrived in the warehouse as informed by Gia, she wondered where Mother Rose was. The dark condition of the warehouse made Anna even more curious. She took a few more steps inside, assuming Mother Rose was already there. Not long after, the smell of gas filled her nostrils, and her instincts told her that something bad was about to happen. When Anna intended to turn around, the door closed, plunging the dim light that was previously visible into complete darkness after the door shut. She immediately ran to the door, trying to knock on it and ask for help.
Help? Anyone outside? Hey, is there anyone outside?
The scent of gas became even stronger, making it difficult for her to breathe.
Help. Open the door. Cough, cough.
Her chest felt tight over time. Tears began to stream down her face as she struggled to breathe.
Oh God, whoever is outside, please help me.
Her thoughts weakened. Anna tried knocking on the door with a slower rhythm, as she was truly exhausted now. Slowly, her consciousness slipped away.